Ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last question, and we'll start from this side on this round. Richmond has the highest poverty rate in Virginia. What specific programs and/or legislation would you offer to help address this issue? Decrease the poverty rate in Richmond.
Well, to decrease the poverty rate, we need jobs. People need to be able to go to work, make a decent wage, be able to pay their bills. So the first thing I would seek to do is get the federal government and its stifling bureaucracy out of the private sector, allow businesses to grow, encourage businesses to come back into this state and this country by releasing them of the onerous tax burden they have to deal with, by releasing them of the silly, I don't know any other word to use for it, the silly regulations that are heaped on them. How many of you have heard the stories of somebody who wanted to build a factory that could have employed 600 people in their area, but they were told they couldn't build it because, why, that's a wetland preserve. Or that's the migration pattern for the brown-nosed snail darter. And so we let 600 people lose jobs because we were more concerned with the migration pattern of a small fish than we were with getting jobs for people. The way you solve the poverty problem is create jobs. The way you create jobs is to let people who know how to do that. And I've been a business owner. I'm not going to be up in Washington as some lawyer, some college graduate who's never had a job in the private sector trying to tell some guy how to run a business who has no concept of how to do it. I'd rather let the people who know how to do it do the job, grow the businesses, create jobs, and by doing that, you help end the poverty cycle.
How you create an equal society is by making sure that the money is distributed equally. Wow, what a concept. Who would have thought? Each child in school deserves to have the same equal money as every single child in school, whether it's a suburban school, whether it's a rural school, or whether it is an inner city school. I am tired of test scores being the sole factor in who gets what money in regards to schools. We need to reform No Child Left Behind so that children are not being left behind. We also need to provide equality in regards to offering loans, making sure that anyone with an idea, no matter how small or how big a business is able to have the same opportunities to be able to grow their business. We also need to start helping folks who have small businesses be able to afford benefit packages to be able to hire full-time employees instead of hiring all these part-timers. So I think these investments in the federal government, I believe, has a responsibility to make sure that we're investing in people. It is not unconstitutional to invest in people and making sure that everybody's equal among all cultures, all skin colors, all businesses, small or large, and all schools. So we need to look into that, and we need to make sure that that's happening.
Let me add some humor here, perhaps some well-needed humor. I want to remind Congressman Scott that I have 2 martial arts degrees. Also a former Marine, so the next time he comes up and does this with his finger, just joking. Listen, our children are our most precious resource. If there is to be strength for tomorrow, or even a tomorrow, we know if there is to be strength for tomorrow.
That doesn't work. That's the way TV.
All right. If there is to be strength for tomorrow, our children are what matters. Our children are what matters. Our students, they are our future. They're where this country is going. That's where our passion should lie. If Congressman Scott and if any of you believe that he has been great for them, fine, vote for him. But I'll tell you that Congressman Scott has voted against faith-based initiatives. He has voted against the very program which can help our children, which can help our churches reach out to our children. We have some of the lowest, the highest poverty rates, I would cite to you, in the state. And you can compare those nationally. If he's been so good, then why is 18 years of blight still existing in our districts? Where are our children looking when they drop out of high school? Where are they going when they drop out of high school? Now, my battle here is not with Congressman Scott. We need to have a passion as Americans, certainly as Virginians, to take this step forward. Not to make it a personal battle between Congressman Scott and Chuck Smith, but to take this country forward. We need people in Washington who stop this type of bickering and get up and make things happen. We need to create jobs for our children. We need to have jobs there for our citizens. And we do this by investing in the type of infrastructure, investing in the types of programs that will take this country forward and having those things available, revenue sources. You know, we're looking at light rail, but how many of our high school students, when they get out, are equipped to handle that type of, we need to look into that. We need to look into the types of things that are going to make our economy stronger and certainly create the types of jobs we need for those children of ours who are looking to a better future. We are going in the wrong direction each time we have congressmen stand up here at the mic or at any mic and trying to point the finger. And whether you're pointing the finger or whether you're stating facts, how many jobs do you create by pointing that finger? How many jobs do you create by passing that blame? I ask you to consider that this is a step forward for us, and this is an opportunity for us. And I've stepped up to the plate, as has all these gentlemen. And it's your decision to make some of the tough choices right now. I ask that you consider me. Thank you.
Floyd, I'm glad you went first because I would be more than 3 minutes talking about the jobs, education, and everything else I want to talk about. I agree with Floyd that we need to have jobs, small businesses, create the jobs and bring jobs to Richmond and hence East Henrico. I don't know who all's here from Henrico, but that east side needs more attention than the west side. Okay, my wife worked on that side of town at John Rolfe. She taught as the principal at Newbridge Middle School, the alternative school over there that they closed down. I can't remember how many times she came home and we went to church and we told people there about people, the kids, the children there at those schools and how much they only had one shirt or a pair of pants or they didn't have anything. And we provided that for them through our faith-based operations that we have there. We don't have to worry about the red tape or anything like that. We just go and do it. You stand up. You know if there's something wrong in your church or in your community, you're going to stand up and you're going to do it. I was there. I do that too. And that's what I want you to do. I want less apathy and more participation in what we have in this community. Education is important, extremely important, and we need to put more money into that. We need to put student loan payoffs for the experienced teachers, not the ones coming right out of college that don't know anything. We need to get those teachers from the west side that are out at performing schools and bring them over to the east side and say, look, you come over here and you show us that you are that good. You come here and show us that you're that well teacher. You bring those scores up and we'll pay your student loan off. We're not going to do it in a year. We're going to do it in 5 years. We want to see that school reach up to what's on the west side. We want to see that happen. We'll pay that off. And we want some of the new teachers in there too to be mentored by those older experienced teachers, the seasoned ones. And let the west side take care of itself. That's what I want to see happen.